Hunter, I don't know how in the hell we pulled that off.
There's so many bucks in here, dude. There's like 4 bucks. Going home, selling my shit. Guys, it's been one hell of a year. I have made a lot of mistakes that I'm not proud of. It's been a real roller coaster this deer season for 2022, and we're still not done with it. On top of that, we're still in the middle of rifle season as we're filming this, and to start it off, the first thing I did was we were bow hunting Tanner's farm out in the bean field. Hey guys, we're out here at the farm again. We're gonna try to get us a doe. Got in here by about 5:30. Probably about 5:30. Yep. Tanner saw about 40 deer in the field last night. Just a shit ton of them. So we're hoping we can get on one tonight. Fingers crossed. So we'll let you know if anything changes. And we had a buck that we called Claw. He was like perfect on his left side. Got my direction mixed up here. His left side was, clean. I think he was like a mainframe, 8?
Yeah.
And his right side, he was all jacked up, and the end of his beam actually pointed down. It was real bizarre, goofy buck. Never had him on camera as far as we know. He just kind of showed up.
And really cool, he came out on the other side of the field. Tanner filmed him for a long time. He said, that deer gets in range, you shoot him. Okay.
I think you pinwheeled him. I think you pinwheeled him. Oh my god. I think you drilled him. Oh my god. I don't think it was a complete pass-through, bro. I think you hit him right on the right in the shoulder. Camera wasn't focused, but I got the shot. Okay.
Well, he worked right up to us at 38 yards, and I shot him. I guess on the shot, I must have pulled my shot a little bit and went high. I'm not for sure if he ducked. The footage was kind of iffy because we didn't think to pull the see-through mesh down on the blind, which was a learning experience. Just something that we didn't realize would be a big deal, but I guess with a camera, obviously it is. But anyway, shot him at 38 yards, hit him high, like high shoulder. I mean, in the video, you can hear you can just hear it just crack. I'm like, oh boy, and thought we had good penetration. Turns out we had 7 inches of penetration on the arrow. Snapped off. No, it didn't snap off. The insert blew out of the arrow shaft. The end of the arrow shaft was cracked, and you could see where, it had blown out. So I don't know if it wasn't glued in well enough, or if just the impact of everything, it just happened. We're not for sure, but anyway, we tracked that deer for 250 yards. Blood dried up. We did a big grid search the next morning till about 11 o'clock. We had to both be at work by noon.
Hey guys, we're back here at the arrow where we last seen blood. It was really good blood. It was really good blood there for probably, I don't know, but it's probably close to 100 yards.
Yeah, he hit him right. The shot's blurry and we can't really tell, but what we think? Above the shoulder?
We think it was above the heart, but it was low enough that it was in the lungs.
And we had bubble blood all for a good while, and then now just nothing. I don't know if he's just ran up in all this thick stuff or if he went back that way. I don't know, we ain't got no blood to go off right now.
So, he lived on, and then his uncle Devin ended up seeing him, I think, opening day of rifle. He was in there chasing a doe around, and it is what it is, and I'm not proud of it, and I'm not going to say that I have any excuses for it. I don't have any excuses. And the next deer was a basket rack 8. I thought he was a 3-year-old deer, and I was so wound up, it just kind of happened. The adrenaline started flowing. On that one, I ended up hitting a bush. You could see in the shot when I slowed it down. I knew the shot was iffy, so I went back to the house, immediately backed out, and came back, pulled it up on the computer, put it in the video editor, and slowed it down. And you can see there that because I hit that twig and the angle of the shot I didn't realize was so extreme, I ended up catching some of that undergrowth and hit him high as well, but it was angled down, so we thought, okay, maybe it was top of the lungs.
Not finding any over here.
Tracked him, same scenario except even less blood than claw. At the turning point, just everything just went completely downhill for me after that deer. I mean, claw, it sucked. I was real upset over it, and then that deer happened. I was like, man, I don't know. And then all the guys were like, just keep going, keep pushing. You know, mistakes happen. Like I don't like wounding deer. That's not what I'm out to do. I mean, I'm out to harvest the animal and then, you know, eat it. It's always been my intent. If it's got good antlers, that's a bonus.
Oh yeah. That Burley Legal blend. That's the 4th bag in this spot since, what, the end of May probably? And we're at the end of July. So it's been going about, what, 2 bags a month? Is that about right? Mm-hmm. Cedar Thicket's getting 2 bags today.
And the next one was actually the day before rifle. I had that deer probably 20 yards, 20, 22, he was somewhere right in there. Came in on the decoy. That was an insane hunt.
Shot him in the shoulder, Hunter. He's bleeding, Hunter. He's bleeding good. It's really high, but you got him. I'm still watching him. You hit him high, but I did see some blood. What do you think about that, buddy?
We weren't even paying him like of attention. Christian told me 25. I think he was 20.
He could have been about 22. It was high, but I do see some blood in this footage. We're gonna have to give him a bit. It might be high lung. What you think about that, buddy? Give me some. Give me some.
Came right into that decoy, man. Right into that decoy. Oh, we're gonna watch this footage back, see what it looks like.
I'm not shaking because I'm cold.
What you think?
Oh my God.
What you think?
Hopefully he's dead. We just looked at the footage. It is high, but it looks like when he's turned away, it looks like there's frothy, like like foamy lung bubbles running down his side. So we think he's dead just inside the woods. And of course, right where he's walking in, as you'll see in the footage, there's a creek right there where he walks out of frame. So we think he's laying down there in the creek.
Just pile up. We got the golf cart. Tanner came. We're gonna go find this deer.
And at the shot, my placement was good, everything was good, but that deer managed to duck the string at 20 yards. He almost hit the dirt. He ducked so much. He ducked and he rolled to the left, and when he did, I stuck it right in his back strap. Ran off with the arrow, tracked that deer for 600 yards. And
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, he went up through the thick, nasty too. The thickest, just thorn bushes and all sorts of crap. And finally lost him. Well, the neighbor ended up seeing him the next day, jumped him up across the road from where we were hunting, so said he wasn't real hurt. So I think that deer lived. I'm not proud of any of these shots or the outcome of any of it. I practice a lot with my bow. It's not like I don't shoot at all before I go hunting or anything. I always make sure my equipment's on, and it's on me. I don't have any excuses. It's all on me. And finally, the turning point of my season where I finally had some positives. Crazy hunt with Chris.
Talk about Hunter's hunt a little bit. I told him I would go with him that morning, film if he wanted me to, and he said, yeah, that would be great. So I ended up going with him. We went down to a big bottom, sat there in the morning, and we seen a doe, 2 fawns, a little spike, I think it was. It was pretty cold that morning. At about 9 o'clock, I looked at Hunter and I said, dude, I can't take it no more. I'm about to freeze to death. And I could tell he was a little disappointed. He didn't want to leave yet, but I just couldn't do it no more. And I felt bad because I know out of experience, I've had my best hunts between 9 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Didn't want to leave, but like I said, my feet were froze, my hands were froze. So we decided, okay, we'll just leave. I said, there's deer out there in that field. I could see a deer running around. I couldn't tell what it was, and it was just running in circles and carrying on. I said, all right, Hunter, here he comes. He's coming right. He's coming right. Then he'd stop behind this big old cedar tree. Then I'd see him again. Oh, he's coming back left. I could see this deer as plain as day, but Hunter couldn't see him because he's a little bit shorter than I am. And but I didn't know it. But this buck kept looking down in the draw. But I knew the doe had to be to the right of us. Well, come find out there was another buck down this draw, and I never did see him. Hunter seen him afterwards, but so anyway, this deer come. I said, all right, here he comes. He's coming out right. He's coming out right. And this whole time, I'm dragging Hunter. I'm grabbing him by his arm. No, get over here. Then no, get over here. And I remember doing that to Tanner when he was younger, getting him in position. Anyway, this deer comes out. He comes out to the right. He's wide open. I'm thinking to myself, okay, shoot. shoot, Hunter. Shoot. And Hunter never did shoot. Then the deer just kind of went over the hill into the draw. And I could just tell in Hunter's expressions like, man, we just blew that. And he kind of looked at me and said, what are we going to do now? I said, we're going to sneak over this hill is what we're going to do. So we started easing in there a little bit closer. And there's the buck again. And they didn't have a clear shot. Come here. So we just kind of stood there. I'm trying to tell Hunter where he's at, where he's going. About the time to our right, we see a deer jump the fence. At first we thought it was the doe. But it wasn't. It was a little spike buck. And he'd come down in this draw too. And about that time, all I could hear was this big buck. This big buck grunting, carrying on. And I told Hunter, get ready. Get ready. And about that time, the spike buck, first it was the doe, then the spike, then the big buck, all come up out of this cedar, this big deep ravine like out on pond, come right at us. There he is, right there in front of you.
Down.
Right there. Kill him. You got him. You got him.
Oh my God. Oh
You
my
got him. I don't know if I got him on film that time. Oh yeah. Hunter, I don't know how in the hell we pulled that off.
There's so many bucks in here, dude. There's like 4 bucks.
You missed him at 15 yards.
He's coming right at me. You'll put our hands on him. Well, we got it done on a pretty good Missouri 8-pointer this morning. We were actually walking out and all of a sudden he decided to, he was up there on that other hill and Chris is like, there's deer up there. I didn't see him at first and next thing I knew, he's like, big buck, big buck. And he came running out of there and I was like, holy crap. So we snuck up here because they were running down in this draw, coming up the other side, and then the doe was down here and he was up on top of this little hill next to the pond, and man alive, what a hunt. We got lucky. But there's 3 different bucks down here and that doe. What a crazy hunt. Unbelievable.
Awesome job.
Biggest deer to date.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
I'll tell you what, freehanding the camera and trying to zoom and try to find, it's tougher than what you think. Hunter got a little excited, a little emotional, I think. But that was, like I told him, I said, of course you remember most of your hunts that you have during your life, and there's 2 hunts. Of course I remember a lot of the deer that I've killed, and but there's 2 hunts that will always stick in my head. That was the year when Tanner shot Statue, and this year with Hunter. And I told Hunter, I said, you will never forget this hunt, ever. So after the high-fiving and the hugging and fist bumping, and went down to him, and to date that's the biggest deer Hunter's ever shot. So I was glad I could be there, be part of it. But anyway, it'll be something that Hunter will never forget. I'll never forget it. It was just one of them days. Of course, most of you know when this time of year these bucks just get stupid. He did not care. All he wanted was that doe, and luckily for us, if we'd been 30 seconds quicker or 30 seconds late, we'd never seen these deer. I'm glad I got cold, because if I wouldn't got cold, we'd never known he was around. So the Lord was with us that day.
Had such a rough season, and it finally came together. Words do not describe how I feel right now with that buck. That's my biggest buck to date. If I had to guess, I'm going to say he's probably 135-inch deer, somewhere right in there. He's not a giant, but
He's a giant to you.
he's a giant to me, and I'm 100% happy with him. I'm thankful for all the guys, you know, Tanner, Max, Christian, Chris. I mean, just everybody that's had my back through this whole thing. Matt, my coworker Matt, he's been real supportive of all my hunting. I've hunted with him in years past. He's been very supportive. I'm thankful for the guys I'm surrounded with, for sure. So enjoyed the story of the buck I shot for rifle, and the story of Claw and all that. Who knows? We may end up piecing that story, finally coming to a conclusion on him. There's a lot of other channels out there like Midwest Whitetail. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
There's a lot of channels
Exactly
out
right.
there. Everybody's done it. So you just gotta get back on the saddle and keep going. Eventually it happens. But like I said, I'm not proud of the shots I've made during archery so far, but all I can do is learn and continue to grow from it. Try not to make the same mistakes next time. So I hope y'all enjoyed the story of my 2022 rifle buck, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.